Okay, the time is 8:34 a.m., September 5th, 2025. This is a very tactical video recording. It's not a testimony. Let me plug one ear, is what you must do here. It never, ever changed any of the heinous mufflers, sirens, or construction. Okay, screaming domestic terrorist civilians, yeah, ha, yeah, yeah, ha, ha. And the state that I watched the American public turn into pure barbarians. Okay, and being an American, I can see how that happened. I remember when I was 16, I read the Bill of Rights by, I can't remember the name, one of the Kennedy daughters or nieces. I was 16. Okay, but this video is tactical to finish my point, okay, with one ear plugged as standard. It's not a video recording testimony of what I've been witnessing here. The terrorism that I witness here 24 hours a day. Oh, and I too. It caused a speech impediment and memory loss. The traumatic events caused memory loss in regards to the English vernacular. Okay, but I cannot talk one word about this street, this property, or this city. So saying things about the American public and their population here is forbidden. So here we go. Here's our video recording. And so you can see it is tactical. And so we can discuss the Bill of Rights, and then we must stop talking about the American public and their population here. I read the Bill of Rights when I was 16, and that's when I realized I would like to go to law school. I always had a interest and desire and goal to have higher education, no matter what my educational background was, and no matter what my situation and circumstantial situations were growing up as a young person. And so I did achieve that. All right, so as history and my personal history is what I mean, as it shows, I did do that. So all right, T. But I was a liberal arts, more of an interest of that. And then when I got my criminal justice, it was like liberal sciences, or however they want to quantify that. But I never took like math or science or biology or any of these straight science majors. And so I have a lot of respect, of course, coming from the other spectrum of the curriculum and academia. I have a lot of respect for people who take just plain and simple sciences courses, and I have a lot of respect for professors. That's why I talk about them, because I was around so many of them as a young person, always going to college, going back no matter what. I just kept going and wandering around. It was how I filled up the gap of feeling lost without a family, and without a real idea of what I was doing, because I was so alone. I just kept going back to the community college campuses, just kept wandering around. So I changed my degree a lot. It went from music major, which I took a lot of that in my early 20s. Then it turned into, I was going to be a sociologist. And then from that, it turned into a social worker. And then I still wanted to get a law degree, and on and on and on. So I was a good-hearted young woman, okay? I just didn't know what I was doing in life. All right, and that could have been drastically altered if I just would have had any kind of good people around me, but the facts are I did not. So I made mistakes. Everybody does. I learned from my mistakes, and like what I mean by drinking, that's something I've been publicly open about, and I kept doing the right thing in life. So it's not hard, people can figure this out, okay? What is right is right, what is wrong is wrong. All right, so you don't need to be Miss Morals, MISS, Miss Morals, MORALES, Morals. I think that's how you spell it. Okay, so here we are. So I read the Bill of Rights at 16. It was a Kennedy book, the Bill of Rights. I wish I would have kept it. I think I did. And I read at the same time, I think I did. I think I still have the copy of the book I read when I was 16. It means that much to me. I really was going to at least try in life to get a law degree, so I kept it. I think I do still have that book. But I also read, I can't remember his name, oh God, everything's going black. The one that did the big deal, the president that did the big deal, everything's going black. It's crazy how I can't remember names, okay? Please understand. It goes black. The president who did the big deal, the president who I just tried to say we bring back his things he did. We bring back his things. Anyways, that president, the US president, who was president for World War II. Okay, I can't remember his name, all right? That president, I read a book about him. So these things influenced me I remember I was 16. And right now I'm being fucking poisoned really bad. Damn it. You can't do anything here. 8:41, ow. I'm grabbing at my body and holding myself forward and crunched in like a fetal position from poison right now. Hold on. I can't do anything here without getting gas. That's what I say every day. It's every day. I don't know if it's because I got on the phone and started doing camera, but I believe so because I knew going into it, it was tactical and I knew not to talk about this fucking terrorist compound. The gas is gone now and I'm not plugging my ear, but any minute I'm gonna have to do that. Let me just keep it plugged because it's really better to do that, just to keep it plugged if you're gonna try to do any sort of thing like I'm doing now. Oh my God, the pain they just put me in was almost screeching pain at 3 and 4 out of 1 through 5. This fucking poisonous gas here is so fucking evil. Remember, the people who set this place up are in the business of atrocities, organ harvesting, chopping up bodies. I can't talk about anything I witness here. All right, and I don't have to. There's so much military here. There's no doubt they know I'm in here. Okay, so I cannot fucking discuss this. We need to go back to the Bill of Rights. So the Bill of Rights, I read it and I remember thinking at 16, okay, I'm a quasi kind of sort of orphan. I don't have any parents. Okay, so I'm really a solo individual minded person. There's not a lot of individuals around me putting me in putting thoughts in me. I'm making thoughts of my own, okay? Because of that fact. The only thing I was indoctrinated to was British punk. It wasn't that I was sexually active. I was going to punk shows at 12. It doesn't mean I was having sex. So thanks for that misunderstanding about my life. If you did have that, you can be 12 and 13 and not be sexually active and be at an all ages punk show for your information. And I went to all these anti-fascist, like Dead Kennedy type punk shows. There's 2 different types of punks. There's been that. There is no such thing as 2 different types of skinheads. You have some skins out of England, a very, very small percentage. They're like Oi or something, but they're not anything like what's his name? That one that sings in Black Flag, that fucking Nazi fuck who sings in Black Flag and does Danzig. I can't remember names. This guy's a Nazi fucking Proud Boy. What happened with the Nazi punks is they turned into Proud Boys. And this is what I'm trying to say. The American public, because of the Bill of Rights, and they call it the experiment. Any government that says publicly they experimented on their population deserves to be hung, if you want my take on that. Because you got what you did. You got an experiment gone wrong. Now you have barbarians who cannibalize, who do everything else under the sun. Okay, and it's because of things and stuff like Bill of Rights, capitalism, and democracy. You filled their heads with that, with no regulations, laws, or rules, or anything surrounding it, and that's what you got, and you knew it going into your experiment. So to go on TV thinking you're a star like Elvis Presley and saying that, you're obviously engaged in treason and you need to be hung, and you're attacking your fucking own people and sovereign territory because you plan to do something direly horrible to them, and it's pretty awful. And I can see why they get hung. Okay, my ear is plugged. I know I talk funny. I'm really pissed off about that. Being poisoned, having your memory lost, and then they try to use it against you. The same goddamn fucking people who are poisoning you, they try to use it against you and say you have mental health issues. They'll say that to anyone. They'll say that to a professor of calculus, a math professor of God knows what else classes. I'd have to Google them. They'll say it to anyone. They'll say you're in mental health crisis, to violate your civil rights, arrest you out of your office or your house. They'll walk right into your own private residence saying you have a mental health issue and drag you off to a hospital where they can easily do whatever they want to you there. That is what the police and government have become here. Anybody who speaks against them, they just simply turn around and arrest them using our legal system. They'll say you are this or that, or they'll say you are a mental health crisis. They'll say whatever they want, and they'll send out their cops to do the dirty work. Am I clear yet? Okay. So this is a big reason for the Bill of Rights, okay? This is what you end up with. You tell these people that they have the rights to do whatever they like. You tell them that this is capitalism and it's pursuits of happiness. And I remember reading this at 16 going, this isn't very good. I remember with my own thoughts, because remember, there's not people around me. I'm quasi orphan. The only indoctrination I had was anarchist punk shows. And it did become a religion to me. Oh, without any doubt, it has left an impression to this very day. It's all I really believe in. I believe in God, yes, Catholicism, but there is some ways to have a life on earth with the government, and it's certainly not the government here. No, I knew at 12, and I knew what they were saying, the anarchist punks, they were right. It was a religion. And everything that they said at those anarchist punk bookstores and those anarchist punk rock concerts at 12 and 13 and 14 years old, they were right. It happened. They were right. All right. So that was the older crowd for me. And we'll talk about that later, what exactly I am saying about anarchist punk rock shows. We'll talk about it later. How could I possibly cram this all in 15, 18 minutes? They were right. Okay, so here we are. Okay, you have the Bill of Rights. You have these alienable rights. You have all this capitalism. Okay, capitalism can be good, but not when it's left like it has been left, alone and doing whatever it wants. Capitalism got to do whatever it wanted, and here you are. It turned into a monster. And you tell the public, you tell them that they are the best in the world. You tell them there's no one else like you. You're an American. There's no one else. You are exceptional. You feed this to them since they're small. You're exceptional. You're an American. You tell them this in every way, on the TV, on the bus. There's a billboard on the bus. You are exceptional. I mean, they're fucking brainwashed, so out of their minds, brainwashed with it. They walk down the street, there's another billboard. You are exceptional. So they're convinced they're the fucking masters of the world. And then they have all this capitalism and money out of control. They have these enableable rights, and they have a pursuit of happiness. And the whole crux and the whole foundation of their existence is competition, because it's how you literally live or die. If you don't get $1 to your name, if you don't get $2 to your name, then you die. Because no one's going to give you water, no one's going to give you food, no one's going to give you clothes. There is no one to help you here. We're not about that. We're about capitalism. We're not about anything else. So money is your God. And don't forget, you're exceptional. This is a godless country. Yeah. I've been trying to say all this though, right? They took the morality, the morals away. It turned so ugly here, and now you have nothing but barbarianism. And a lot of it's because they just want to survive, but they turned so evil. There's a point where you know what's right and you know what's wrong, and if you're doing some of these terrible things that the population is doing now all the time as a way of life in the United States, then there's no defense. You know it's wrong. Don't bother saying you didn't know that. And they just want to keep enforcing their exceptionalism and the fact that they're doing it as if it's a new normal and it's okay. They're going to enforce that through, guess what? More violence through guns, more violence through whatever they like. Just bring on more violence around the world. Bring on more money and really sick people, and have those people go on the TV, have those people go on billboards on buses, have those people put billboards on the sidewalk, and those people will tell you you're exceptional. I'm Elvis Presley, I'm a star. I'm telling you that. I have all this money. You want to be like me, then be like me. You want to have money, then be like me. There's no fucking leadership. There's no roadmap. The people are barbarians, and that's exactly what they intended. Tell me that was an experiment. Bullshit. You're a treasonous traitor. And then you know what's sad? Because you have the Bill of Rights, because you have capitalism, because you have democracy left without any laws, any regulations, just by itself to raise its ugly head, you know what you get? What you get with your people? The most disloyal, untrustworthy people in your population that will hand over their entire country, their entire system of government, how it's implemented. System, folks, look up the definition, system of government. They'll hand it all over and say, here, Al-Qaeda, here, Taliban, take it. Thanks for giving me money. Thanks for giving me drugs. I'm cool. Your rock star says I'm like him. Your rock star, Al-Qaeda and Taliban, says I'm like her. Here, have my entire system of government. I'm an American, and I'm the most distrustful, untrustworthy, disloyal person on the planet. And we are up to 20 minutes. Goodbye.